So what did they call you?
What's my name?
Yeah, do you have a nickname? Do you have an alias, a moniker, or anything?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Oh,
yeah.
I go by Menace.
Menace, what are you incarcerated for, sir, and how long is your sentence?
I was allegedly charged with a double homicide and attempted murder.
How much time did you get, sir?
Well, at first they gave me life without parole, without the possibility of parole. And then I just recently acquired my Senate Bill 394, that I'm not being given my full benefits. So I'm kind of being kept in prison against my will. But I did get my sentence modified, and it's basically like a 20-year sentence that it's supposed to be now, at most, but it's supposed to be like time served because I already did pretty much like 17 years and 8 months, and they were supposed to have given me some benefits, but they haven't implemented them in my C file appropriately. So that's why I'm being kept in prison against my will.
So from my understanding, you should be seeing the free world any day now.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Menendez brothers.
I guess something like that. Hey,
so where are you from out here on the streets?
I'm from Orange County. I'm from like the city of Santana.
Do you or did you at any time point in your life belong to any type of gangs, groups, organizations, sir?
Yeah, I'm a gang member and stuff like that.
May I ask who you're associated with, sir?
I'm from Walnut Street.
Okay.
It's like Walnut Street gang, and then it's our clique is Wicked Ones. Well, about the gang stuff, I started associating with my situation like around the age of 14, 15. I didn't get actually admitted, or I actually didn't get I wasn't an actual gang member up until like April of 2005, and then I ended up staying out there in the streets for a couple of years. I got incarcerated for the first time in May of 2006 for an alleged pistol and joyride. And then I ended up getting out a few days later. The charges were dropped luckily. This is my second time being busted, and it's already going on 18 years. In February 3rd of 2007. February 3rd of 2025, that'll be 18 years exactly. And then the actual the reason why I became part of the gang was just like my was part of my life as it was, like the nostalgia all and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I haven't been in the street since February 3rd of 2007. I was only out there in the streets for like about 2 years and maybe a couple, like 2 or 3 months till I picked up this alleged life sentence and stuff like that. I was in juvenile hall at the age of 17 for the second time in Orange County Juvenile Hall. The first juvenile hall that I ever went to was in San Bernardino Juvenile Hall. And then I ended up getting released went back home. Like I lived in Orange County all my life and stuff like that. I lived there for about 17 years, and I've been incarcerated like almost half of my life already. I got busted at a young age, unfortunately, and I'm trying to seek as much help as possible in back society and stuff. Allegedly, the situation happened in December 17 of 2006. I wasn't home that day, basically the whole day, and then I ended up getting arrested or detained on December 18 of 2006, and the reason why was because it was unknown to me at first because I didn't know what was going on. It's just that the cops detained me, arrested me, and they ended up holding me in the police station for like about at least 8 to 10 hours, or something like that, like 8 hours, and then I ended up getting released because they said that they believed my story about not being involved in the situation. So they let me go, and then I was in the streets for at least another 2 months, and then I ended up getting incarcerated like on the 3rd of February of 2007, and questioned again, and the reason why was because of the, I guess, this alleged situation, right? And that's kind of when I started to figure out what was going on. Like, they never told me, like, oh, you're being arrested for a homicide or anything like that. Really, they just mentioned that, they mentioned that like after I got arrested. They never really mentioned anything about any homicides or anything like that. They just were questioning me and asking me if I had anything to say about anything, and I told them that I would like to just pay the fifth and not make any testimony. And so both times that they detained me, I did that, and they let me go eventually one time. The second time that they detained me was when they finally tried to charge me for the double homicide and attempted murder, and a few months down the line, they also tried to charge me for a separate attempted murder and assault with a firearm. But I beat that case. I actually got a not guilty verdict on a separate case, not equal to this other case. And then in February of 2010, I ended up getting a hung jury, 5 to 7, 5 for not guilty, 7 for an alleged guilty verdict. And they ended up telling me that most likely I'll be able to go home. This was back in 2010. And then, so I was looking good and getting ready to go home and stuff like that after serving at least.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I must ask you, how did they connect you with this double homicide? It's kind of like you're almost breezing over it. How did they connect you to the double homicide? What was it that happened?
They said that, I guess after allegedly, after this alleged situation on the 18th of December, the cops came to see me. They didn't tell me anything at all. You know, I didn't have a clue that anybody had said anything allegedly or not. I just knew that that they picked me up. They didn't mention anything. They didn't show me any police report or discovery. And then up until March of 2007, I finally found out that allegedly somebody had said that they had seen me supposedly at the scene of the crime, right? And one of my co-defendants allegedly told the police that he had seen me there and stuff like that, and that I was being charged for a double homicide and attempted murder, and that
You have 60 seconds remaining.
it's about to hang up. Is it okay if I call you back?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I must ask you, was anybody else arrested with you for this double homicide?
There was 6 of us total fighting the same case, and it was I fighting this case and 5 other different co-defendants.
What ended up happening to the other co-defendants, sir?
For the most part, everybody got an alleged guilty verdict. And
I think I'm aware of your
now,
case. I think I actually did a little story about your case about 2 or 3 years ago. From my understanding, this double execution happened in an alley, right?
Yeah, something like that, because I never really got to see the address and stuff like that up until trial, kind of like I may have seen the address before, but I actually never got to see the actual case up until almost trial. I think it was street address, something like that.
May I ask, who were the victims?
I've never met the actual victims. I've seen pictures in trial of 2 deceased people, but I actually never got to see those people ever in my life. And then when it comes to an alleged and well, in the discovery, it allegedly said that they were from ropers, but that's what happened. They ended up, I guess that's who allegedly got killed, and one of the other alleged victims ended up going to trial, but he didn't really mention me in a sense where he was like, oh, it was this guy, that did it. He kind of ended up telling the cops, oh, it was 2 dudes. They were covered with sweatshirts and bandanas, I couldn't see them from head to toe, and they were at least 6 feet tall.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I mean, you're already convicted of it. That's why I'm asking you all these questions. I mean, you're already serving life. You're already, going through the channels. That's why I'm asking these questions. Those guys that were arrested with you, the 5 other perpetrators or alleged perpetrators, are they from your neighborhood as well, sir?
Well, I know them from back in the days, going to school and stuff like that with them. I know them from where I used to live and stuff, About stipulating anything for them in that sense, I kind of revoke myself from really mentioning anything of that sense in regards to them. But I personally am and was at the time a gang member, and about any of them stipulating anything of the sort in court or anything like that. They may have or may not have signed those types of papers, that to claim that they claim to be a gang member or not, and stuff like that. But I know I did,
I must ask you. Obviously, you're you're incarcerated, whether you're guilty or not, you're incarcerated behind this beef, behind this Lopers and Orange Street and all these other gangs, right? I must ask you, why did this war with Lopers start? How and why did it affect you?
Well, on my perspective, they're claiming that it was like they're trying to make it seem like there was some type of like gunplay was at hand, like a misfortunate of boys being boys kind of thing. But like I said, I didn't participate in that shooting. I could like have some opinion. Like I said, that's basically what they're trying to say in the situation, that it was like boys being boys kind of thing, and that gunplay may have occurred, and that type of stuff. Kind of, it's not so rare to hear about in the neighborhood, and especially since I was incarcerated for an alleged pistol and stuff like that before. So yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure this entire situation of gang wars and stuff like that was at hand. But exactly, I wouldn't know,
So the other people that were involved in this case, they're all serving life as well, or did anybody cut any type of deals?
I think one of my co-defendants at the time is in Chocowalla State Prison and he's in protective custody. My other co-defendant might be there as well. I think two of my co-defendants are there in Chocowalla State Prison. They're in protective custody. They ended up going into protective custody because they started to tell the police alleged things that weren't true and stuff like that. And in regards to me specifically, I'm assuming because they ended up trying to seek other deals and stuff like that, from what I hear. I don't know if in regards to my other co-defendants that are in the main lane, that they may have said anything in regards to them other than perhaps most likely for the same alleged reason they ended up going into protective custody, like because they were in fear for their life and stuff like that. But that's what ended up happening.
What was the prosecutor's significant piece of evidence that he was putting forth against you? Like, what was it? How did they place you at the scene of the crime? How did they have overwhelming evidence that they were able to convict you? Not only did they convict you, but they sentenced you to life without the possibility of parole. That was your initial sentence. So that means that they had beyond a reasonable amount of doubt, they had beyond a reasonable amount of evidence to convict you, sir.
All in all, they ended up using false testimony. That's why I ended up acquiring the Senate Bill 394 thing recently, because they ended up using fraudulent testimony. They were only supposed to have used one of the alleged stories, and in my case, they used a multiple story theory, and try and put a puzzle together. And from what I hear, that's not what you're supposed to do at all. It's supposed to be one story, and that one story only sticks per se. And then in my situation, they ended up using an alleged story saying that that supposedly the actual gunman was allegedly someone else. They ended up claiming that one of my other alleged co-defendants was the actual shooter in the first story, and no one even mentions me in my in that story. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes to I personally, no one ever actually ever says, "Oh, it was this guy," no one ever said in trial, "Oh, it was this man that shot so and so," or anything like that. It was totally to the contrary. Somebody in trial showed up and said, "I got to take a good good look at everybody that was there, and this man that's here today wasn't the one that I seen that day. Like somebody by the name of East, a young man. I don't know what his age was at the time. I think he was like 17, about to turn 18. That by the time that he went to trial, and he told the prosecutor, the jury, that the judge, that no, I got to get a good look at the people that were there. This man that's here in trial wasn't he. He said that for one of my co-defendants as well. But like I said, I wasn't there, and so they ended up using a fortunate, like a fraudulent story, and where nobody even mentions me. And the jury told my lawyer that in trial, at the end of trial, the reason why we found your defendant guilty was because of the alleged first story that was said about he. And I was like, no one even mentioned me in the first story, And my lawyer kind of acted passive with me in a polite manner, meaning that he wasn't really paying attention to the jury. So he didn't call a mistrial or anything, But other than that, we were hoping he would, and eventually, now I'm waiting to go back to court on the 8th of November, because I also qualified for the SB 1437 1170.95 A Reform Act sentence, like a remodification of sentence, because other than just acquiring the Senate Bill 394, I ended up filing for the SB 1437. I don't know if you're familiar with that law.
What exactly is that for the people out there who are not aware?
Well, when it comes to the SB 1437, it's in regards to, like, if you were let me see, if you were under the age of 17 when your alleged crime happened, all in all, it's like up to like the age of 23. I'm not exactly sure. They give you some type of modification sentence if you do have some type of proper theory and stuff like that. Like if you qualify for it, and like in my sense, since no one ever mentions me in the sense of trial, or in the sense as in a story that they allegedly used in trial, I ended up qualifying for that. And then in my and also I ended up qualifying for that because of the I guess in regards to the evidence that was held against me, they were relying on, I guess, false testimony, in the sense that some of my co-defendants had claimed some alleged allegations and said things that weren't true, and they kind of found out about it, and they ended up looking like liars at trial and stuff like that. So that's why I'm pretty much being included in the.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So basically, you were framed.
Something like that, I guess I could say, because it was nothing but like false accusations, allegedly being delivered to the police, and that's how I ended up getting tried for a double homicide and attempted murder.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Can you call back?
Could I call you back? It's about. Yes, please, thank you.